Now, quickly, you're moving on to this particular issue. Minoka say the OSP is in hot waters. Or share subsequent updates. Now, earlier updates at the buyer. You saw the likes of Kevin Taylor questioning the ability and answer the work in general of a year. Kissi Agyebeng, the office, the person, and as the OSP or in charge of the office of the special prosecutor. Now, Nina say, Obayan untimi nyeshie or chine and Ghanaians want action. And also one issue which has to do with the extradition of Kenufrata to Ghana. No, a Kamia Kwesa, his coordination and a link working with a year. Attorney General Dr. Yini is not really going on well as planned. But then, aside from all of these things, to one issue about top news, said the office of the special prosecutor, he has been sued by one person or claiming that all these while he has been extorted. So extortion, and say, Ibia, me no ewa asem na asem meet me bu. I was here the court. Okay, maybe I mean I'm more upper hand. Me na me prosecutor, and I mean I'm me courts. And I say me na me judge. Na my babe catch us. Oh, you see. Na assembly kebi mau. And that is exactly what this particular person, in this case, no, or alleged. In fact, share your screens no so. It is just a sequence of these back and forth court with a year pay or the tuja. You could see clearly say issues. Now we will not read all of these court rate because at the end of the day, it is something that does yeeper. So rather head to the website. But before I go websites, no, let us put this on the screens for you to know exactly what is really going on in terms of Kissi Agyebeng. I can tell you, say Kissi Agyebeng this week is not a good week for him at all because at least for Honor or Pa Acho say Mankasa need more time to actually do his thing. It was a breaking news. The OSP has been sued by one of their victims on claims of extortion. They are yet to file their defense despite all the lawyers they have in their disposal. So that is the case. So quickly, what is going on here. Yanko the Guardian newspaper, near share in Sema the Guardian, they were talking about this particular issue. Also, OSP sued for extortion and human rights violations of a client. Or say, the office of the special prosecutor has been dragged to court by one of his alleged victims, Jacob Kwamena Amwa, who claims he was unlawfully detained, as extorted, and subjected to psychological trauma by operatives of the state in a coordinated scheme involving lawyers and the national security officers. So this is the man who OSU, the OSP airport say, it was making office at the long run, and I say in the course of this particular report, so I'm sure we'll know what it is. Also, Amwa, a former coordinator of the Unified Petroleum Fund, UPPF, at the National Petroleum Authority, has filed a motion at the Human Rights Division of the High Court in Accra, accusing the OSP and other state institutions of breaching its fundamental human rights. The case, which has attracted growing public interest, lists 5 respondents: lawyer Kwabena Agyebeng, Edgar Asamoah Boateng, and the National Intelligence Bureau (NIB) and the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Attorney General. So he's suing these people. The 2 people who are lawyers are Bakuya lawyer Kwabena Agyebeng and Bakuya Edgar Asamoah Boateng, together with the NIB, that's the National Intelligence Bureau, and the Office of the Special Prosecutor, together with the Attorney General. So these are the 5 entities that pay issue. It goes on to say, according to court documents cited by the Daily Gist, Amwa is seeking a series of declarations and orders, including a punitive and compensatory damages and for alleged violations of his constitutional rights to liberty, fair trial, and freedom of movement. You see, an OSiki say, as a OSP, no man for now for kwan paso, it's no OSiki, a compensatory damages. Say, yemma niska. For the idea and a punitive entry, a friend is saying OSP near Attorney General Ason. And I also know at the end of the day, yen can some na sanko fui or my yetia or no fan who do na yen to aso aha. He's also demanding reimbursement of medical expenses incurred as a result of what he describes as psychological trauma and emotional distress caused by his detention and treatment at the state. Into a party say ebra ya che no obeyari serious na opese yentua saaka na ebra oyare no ko hospital boy ni nyina yentua. So the case stems from an investigation the OSP launched in February 2025 into the alleged embezzlement of 1.3 million Ghana cedis from the UPPF at the MPA. In TSA oko a year the National Petroleum Authority, there is a particular subset what I find the Unified Petroleum Pricing Fund UPPF. Now, somewhere in February, no, I'm launching investigation. OSP launching investigation into this particular entity. The UPPF. It's in what really happened. So during a press conference, the Special Prosecutor Kissi Agyebeng reportedly named Amoah as one of the key persons of interest. Shortly after the announcement, Amoah alleges he was contacted by lawyers of Kwabena Agyebeng, a former petroleum executive who offered to present him in the OSP investigation. He claims that Agyebeng advised him to avoid discussing the matter with third parties, including other lawyers, and introduced him to a man identified as Edgar Asamoah Boateng, who forcefully claimed to be an operative at the National Investigation Bureau. The two men, according to Amoah, assured him they will resolve the issue with the OSP, but instead confined him to an apartment at the Crystal Homes in Laboni under the pretext of providing protective custody. He was allegedly denied access to his legal counsel's communication and freedom of movement during the period. To apart say, OSP announces an investigation into UPPF, National Petroleum Authority, over some corruption related activities as his kana 1.3 million Ghana cedis misappropriation of funds ska ye blue anasa ayira na ye ntimi embu ho akonta or say OSP ebe yes announcement and check and nkofo mienu bi friend baako nipa baako friend ye lawyer Kwabena Agyebeng na lawyer Kwabena Agyebeng ka chen so ye former MPA ye friend is executive na opese okache ni say all this one na nsem na ekoso no obebo modern na waboa no iti case mama no oni obi ankasa anche bia na o introducing to papa for friend Edgar Asamoah Boateng Edgar Asamoah Boateng kan so onu kro oni National Investigation Bureau na ye adwuma iti no ombeboa no echi e no mo fa no e de no ko share efie bi e wo East Legon the Crystal Homes e no mka so ye protect say na be at the end of the day no obia embe hamil. So that was what they told him. Yen to aso or say, in his affidavit, Amoah recounts on February 15, 2025, he was arrested by officers claiming to be from the NIB and detained at the Bureau premises in Kwaukwidi near Kanda in Accra. He alleged that he was not informed of the reason for his arrest and was denied food and water and was not allowed to contact his family or secure independent legal representation. Despite being unwell, he claims he was interrogated for hours and coerced into writing a predetermined caution statement. He remained in detention for 48 hours, contrary to constitutional limits, before being handed over to the OSP on 17 February 2025 for further question. Amoah says he was finally released on bail and it became apparent that his health was deteriorating. So say bra che no any microphone kaso omu detain no for a year investigation echi no and omu force na mani church name bia enim statement a onim ho hwe ati ase and ye sound so ye che for almost 2 days ya mani mpi ya mana mfro bia ya mana friend lawyers. After 2 days, no, and now OSP on the 17th, no, and now OSP himself pay us and home fan into your man bill and your money bill. I was also trying to say, he was later instructed to report back to the OSP with further investigation, but by that time he claims to have suffered anxiety, insomnia, and post-traumatic stress disorder, for which he's been receiving treatment at the Trust Specialist Hospital since March 2025. To a part to say, a bro moche no na release no obeyare ye no ntimi nda no or to say PTSD say bibia to a okaipe na oyima show aside from that too na ontimi nda and na say kakra na ehu abono and anxiety to apply say oko hospital a year Trust Specialist Hospital since March 2025. Claims of extortion, and collusion. It was the applicant further alleges that the first and second respondent lawyers, Agyebeng and Boateng, acted in consent with officers of the NIB and OSP to extort money from him under the guise of securing his release and influencing the outcome of the investigation. He maintains that despite formally reporting this alleged extortion to the OSP Director of Investigations, no actions has been taken. According to his legal team led by COSA in Aka a law, the conduct of the respondents constituted to deliberate and calculated conspiracy to infringe upon his fundamental rights under the 1992 Constitution. They argue that the state cannot sacrifice the rule of law for prosecutorial convenience and must be held accountable for its action. So, omo pa say a brass our lawyers 2 years, omo buy and on price on bebuano, near money bill, corporate sika also chian, a bit my na, a bit may be net as a scanner above from near the no price. All these things are not a cost, no, not a extortion. What I said, they were extorting from him under the guy said ultimately, so this is one of the major issues omujina so it is just the charge see no ode sobuakoma ode akobo the OSP say OSP it is nsema ekoso no at the end of the day no just say oma extorted from him. It for him try once again yen check countryman zongo